All right, so I'm Brian Hernandez here with PMQ and PizzaTV, and today we have the great honor of speaking with Mick Mahan of Parma Pizzeria Napoletana in Thousand Oaks, California, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so Mick, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are and what you do, man?
Well, what am I? I'm a pizzaiolo and I'm a bass player. So I've been a musician all my life. I've always been a pizza lover all my life, too, because I started when I was young. And when I was a baby, we had a lot of good pizza in our family, Sicilian family. Everybody made pizza. And I grew up in a town where so many great pizzerias that it was just, it was given.
Right.
And when I got out more in the world and discovered, well, not all pizza's created equal, and there's a lot of stuff out there that's not quite there, but, it's all subjective, too, because we all like the pizza we grew up on. So you can argue all day long about who makes the best pizza, and it really does make a difference. In fact, that's kind of how I met Tony Gemini. I was making a joke with him, and I walked up to him and said, "Hey, man, you stole my idea of multiple styles." Of course, he laughed at me because he was 8 years ahead of me in the business. And we hit it off and became really good friends, and I've studied with him extensively. And, we've incorporated some other great pizza people in our world here. The Hunt brothers, who I think make the best Detroit-style pizza in the country. That's my favorite anyway. Again, it's subjective, so. The guys in Ohio that I grew up with make a great pie, Ohio pizza and stuff like that. So Anthony Pellegrini is involved. And, I just spent my time studying with as many people as possible. Going around the country, being a bass player, it afforded me a lot of opportunity to go to small towns, big towns, places around the world, and experience pizza that's indigenous to each one of these regions.
So who do you play bass for?
At Benatar right now. Well, I have for 24 years.
24 years, wow.
Yeah, 24 years. They're still looking for a guy.
Oh.
They're stuck with me for right now.
Just kind of filling in?
I'm sorry?
Just kind of filling in until they find the real guy?
Filling in until they get a real guy. I've been fortunate in that experience, and I've played with a lot of different people because I came out here to be a journeyman musician back in the day when there was sessions to be had. Pursued that, and a composer, and done a lot of different avenues within the music business.
Very good. What's your earliest pizza memory?
Well, I did answer this one in the questionnaire. It was very early because, I remember eating pizza as a baby, and I know not many people can recall things from their really childhood, but I can. I can remember things. I remember my mother making spaghetti on Sunday in the back kitchen window, all steamed up, So we had pizza then. I was probably 3 years old. Right. So it started there, and I've always had this romantic involvement with pizza. I love the whole pizza shop thing. I love the aroma of it. I love the vibe of it, the Italians, and they're having a great time. It's a fun place to be.
Mm-hmm.
You usually don't see pizza people living in despair.
Right.
They're having a lot of fun. It's a fun event, let's face it.
What's your favorite ingredient to play with in your pizza place?
I must say it's sausage. I think sausage is probably my favorite because there's so many different kinds of it. You can get heavy fennel. You can get something spicy. You can get different variations of it. And everybody makes it slightly different. You know what I mean? Pepperoni is a little bit more, it is what it is. Either you get the cupping pepperoni or you get a standard pepperoni like, you're getting at every pizzeria. But it seems like sausage is such a personal event, and we used to buy it from gentlemen that made it in their cellar back in Youngstown, and it was the best ever. Amazing stuff. So just a little bit of that adds a nice flavor to me.
Okay. What do you think is kind of the signature either item, fact, what gets people coming into your place versus other places around Thousand Oaks?
Well, nobody else out here is doing Detroit.
Okay.
And We were the first to do that in Southern California, to the best of my knowledge. I don't know if we were the very first, but certainly in Thousand Oaks. And when we opened, we were giving away slices, and then we were doing $2 slices. And everybody and their brother would come in and say, I eat New York pizza. I don't eat the thick stuff. And eventually, give it to them, let them try it. They flipped out over it, so our number one selling pie is the Detroiter, followed by the Big Net, which is the one that I'm going to do with you.
Okay, that's great. And what's...
Excuse me.
Oh, no way. What's one ingredient you'll never use that if you see an employee with it, they're fired, they're out the door?
Ranch dressing. Get it.
Why is that?
I'm never going to do it. I don't think there's a place in Italy that talks about ranch dressing. I never heard of it until I moved to California.
Okay.
I'm vehemently opposed to it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it has a place.
So you guys have salads and stuff there, right? You serve ranch with your salads?
I'm sorry?
You serve ranch with your salads?
No, we have a vinaigrette dressing. We have
okay.
one mixed green salad, which is like our house salad, because we're kind of easing into this with so many styles going. It's really hard to come out the gate and have 5 different pizza styles and all these other sandwiches and things like that. And we're easing into it, but we do offer the mixed green salad, which is a nice vinaigrette. And then we have a caprese, and we have
okay.
So there's those 3 styles right now.
Yeah, so if somebody came in and wanted to get a side of ranch to dip their pizza in, you can say, just go next door or something.
It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. I like that.
Sorry, you got to stand up against something. I think that would be it.
What is one ingredient that you guys don't use now, but maybe you wish you did, or you wanted something you're thinking about using in the future? Just an ingredient that you want to maybe build recipes around.
When I studied up at Tony's and we had to do a final project. I did this really nice combination of Brussels sprouts with candied pecans and shell. And it turned out really good. And it had sausage on it, of course, hot sausage, and then burrata, and with the mozzarella as well. But it turned out really good. So I would like to do a little bit more with that kind of thing.
With Brussels sprouts or the candied?
Brussels sprouts, I think they're really cool. I know some people don't like them. It's either you like them or don't. It's one of those kinds of things. But it really pairs up well with the tomatoes, and then that candy, the sweet aspect against the bitterness with potential bitterness of Brussels sprouts. To me, it seems like a nice combination. And it chills it right out. When you bake it, it chills the Brussels sprouts down.
Yeah. I have had them on a pie before, and I thought they were great. So
you did like them?
Yeah. It depends on how well they're done. Just putting Brussels sprouts on cheese. No, you gotta. It's like you said, you gotta offset it with something. So definitely on the right path there. So I guess
it's the offset thing. It's the offset. That's kind of important.
Right. So let's just jump into the recipe questions then, and we'll make your day pretty easy here since you did most of your homework already, which is very nice, by the way. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
What's the name of the recipe that you gave me? What is it, and who created this particular recipe?
I gave you the bissonette.
Okay.
Bissonette. And I created it for my friends with the Bissonette family. I loved his mom and dad. They both passed now. The 2 brothers are fantastic musicians. Played with everybody, and we've been friends for a long, long time. There's just no bad Bissonettes in the world. They're just great people. And since we're such a music-oriented place here, I wanted to name pies after my friends. So that was one of the first that I came up with. We're coming up with an Amato Tomato. Dave is the guitar player for REO Speedwagon. So we're messing around with a lot of different things and coming up with some names. But this one I started with Greg and Matt's thing first.
All right. And then the next question was gonna be what was the inspiration behind it, but I guess what was the inspiration behind making this pie, maybe Detroit style, and was there any combination of naming it after them and making it Detroit, or were they separate? Well, no, they're together actually because they are from Detroit. So it's only appropriate that a Detroit pie would be named after them. The inspiration was just they're such fantastic people, and you got to lift up your friends that are great people and great musicians.
And so it just kind of came out of that.
Now, what was the was this made from existing ingredients in your shop, or is this something that you, when you came up with the inspiration, you said, I want to add a couple things? It looked like it didn't have too many crazy ingredients on it.
No, there's not crazy ingredients. Spicy sausage, cherry tomatoes, the cupping pepperoni, so the smaller ones that cup real nicely. That's about it. You got the 3 kinds of cheese from Detroit. Because you get the cheddar on the sides, and then you have the mozzarella and the Wisconsin brick in the center. So there's more than meets the eye, but I'm not a big believer in loading up pizzas with a ton of ingredients so that things are falling off of there, and you really don't taste the pie. But you have those ingredients on the bottom, and then you finish it with your sauce, your competition stripes of sauce. And then you put the burrata on there on each piece. So if it's a 4 slice, you get 4 blobs of it. And then finish it with a nice basil chiffonade. It's real simple, but man, the taste of it, between you taste all the cheddar on the sides. I'm a big believer in letting everything, surface and taste everything. It's like over-salting your food. Right. Using too much garlic or too much of anything. It overpowers it, and all of a sudden you can't really taste the overall effect. So that's kind of our motto here.
That's great. How did you market this recipe initially? Is this something that you guys opened up the shop with, or is this something you added?
I came up with it one day. We were probably about 3 months old, and I just gave it out to people and see what they think of it, and that's kind of how we do. That's our advertisement is eat it. And if you like it, you'll come back.
What was the reception of Detroit style in Southern California? Did they understand it?
Well, at first they said no. They didn't get it. But you give it away and you taste it, you go, oh, my God. And now all those people that came in here saying I'd eat nothing but New York, eat nothing but Detroit. I'm in here and order Detroit's day after day.
So this is on your menu year-round. It's not something that gets pulled on and off like seasonally at all.
No, it's a staple because, like I said, it's the second. It flip-flops with the Detroiter. Some days this and that outsells that. But usually the Detroiter's number one, this and that is second. And then we get into our New Yorks. And we have some eclectic stuff from Ohio that we have here too. So,
wow. How often do you create new recipes for your menu?
Not everyone makes it, but I'm always trying something. When I come in, and if it's a little slow, I want to make something different. I want to try something else, So I experiment with stuff. And not, like I said, not everything sticks, but the biggest percentage of them, if people eat it, because I do give it away, if they like it, then it goes on the menu.
So you basically just kind of, there's no schedule. You just tinker around and what happens, happens?
No schedule, and I encourage the other pizza makers to try things too. Why not?
Yeah. Do you start the test in the kitchen with the staff and then move it out to the guests?
Yeah, exactly.
So if the staff likes it, then it passes on?
Yeah, if we all taste it and we go, hey, this is good, let's give it out. If it's horrible, then you forget about it. But, if it's good enough for us, then we take it out, we make a bunch of it, and just give little slices out to the people with their other stuff. So that's where they get a chance to taste it. Hey, Michael, I want you to meet Brian. Meet Brian. This is my son, Michael.
Hey, Michael, how you doing, man?
Nice to meet you.
So did he suck you into the pizza business, or is this something?
Yeah. I was forced. He held me down and said I have no choice.
No choice.
But you love it now, right?
Yeah.
He's a great musician, too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it seems like it kind of goes hand in hand. There's an artistic factor present in pizza. It's like no other restaurant.
Right.
And there's a certain thing that we're comfortable in our skin, even though we're musicians, doing the pizza thing.
So how old are you, Michael?
I'm 22.
22. And how long have you been, how long has Mick been kind of bringing you around the pizza place?
Well, right when we opened, man, January 25th was the soft opening, and pretty much since then I started to take over more stuff here,
Okay,
Before that, Starbucks for a few years as a supervisor. So that's where a lot of my experience comes from. I've just had a lot of customer service jobs, and I ended up here and just running pizza. And That's it.
Once you go pizza, man, you're never going to go back. There's nothing. I swear to God, nothing beats pizza. How did you get into the music business, man?
Well, I started playing when I was 11. Okay, but I always loved music. I came out of the womb loving music. It was part of my thing. And then I had an uncle that was a great guitar player, and he used to play a lot of songs, sit around, sang. He was a great singer. He had all the right elements, so it was really attractive to me to aspire to be something like that. And then he gave me his guitar because I didn't have enough money to buy one yet. So he gave me his guitar to use for a while. And a couple months after that, I was in a band. You know, it just all of a sudden mushroomed out. And I was in a band, and that was it. That's the end of it. And haven't stopped since.
Very nice. So what made you decide to go into the restaurant business?
Well, like I said, I always loved pizza. And I was always thought it was such a romantic thing. I had a good feeling about it. And I wouldn't necessarily say I wanted to go into the restaurant business, but I always thought pizza was a great thing. I even talked about it to my friends when I was in high school. They remember me talking about pizzeria. It was just always something cool to me. So that's how I decided to do it. You know, the music business is a little bit different now. The focus has shifted. Sessions are not quite as plentiful. In fact, they don't exist. Lots of free music. Let's face it, the only way an artist makes money in the music business is by going on the road. And there's only so many gigs available in that arena. So I started to think of something else that, excites me, and pizza's it.
All right, and you still have a balance between both, right? Because you still tour. I think you just got off a tour, you were saying?
Yeah, 11 weeks we were out with Toto and Pat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you're gone, who's manning the helm there at Parma Pizzeria?
My son Michael and the other staff people. Caitlin's great at running the kitchen. We have one of Michael's friends that's involved. We have a business partner that's a great pizza maker.
Would you say that you play music and own a pizzeria on the side, or is it vice versa for you at this point?
It's both. It's both. I'm all about balance. I guess it's true what they say about Libras. I'm a Libra, and I am that. I'm all about the scales and balancing it out. Mm-hmm. So I can go for 11 weeks without worrying that the employees are going to go to hell or if something's going to happen. So it frees me up to be that and be the musician. And while I'm in town here, I make pizzas and I still do gigs. So I have a really nice balance of both.
Okay.
Very good.
At any point when you decided to open up the restaurant, was there any other idea for a kind of restaurant, or was it just always pizza for you?
Yeah, it was pretty much pizza. I just think it's such a great food. I always say, who doesn't like pizza? I've met very few people that say they don't like pizza. Generally, everybody loves pizza. Whether you're a child, whether, if you have teeth left in your mouth, you're still going to eat pizza.
It's pizza. So how much did you incorporate the rock and roll theme into your restaurant on a scale from none to, let's say, 0 to Hard Rock Cafe?
We're not hard rock, but my blend, again, balance, is I want you to feel like you're sitting in a kitchen in Tuscany somewhere or somewhere in Italy. And I want to keep that homey kind of warm vibe about it. But, oh, by the way, there's some rock star stuff on the walls. And you never know who you're going to run into over here, So we have a lot of people that live in the Thousand Oaks area, especially drummers. For some reason, there's a million drummers that live here. And there's a lot of rock stars that live around here in Malibu and so forth. So you never know who's going to walk in. So I'd say we got a nice balance, but we lean heavy into the music thing, too. So a little bit more than 5. I wouldn't say it's 50-50.
Who are some, if you can name drop just some of the people that kind of come in and live in the area who are maybe your regulars in the rock industry?
Dave Amato from REO, Kevin Cronin from REO, Lenny Castro from Toto, Steve Lukather, of course Neil Giraldo and Patty. We get a plethora of guys. Early drumming from Ambrosia, John Robinson, who's played with everybody from Michael Jackson, on and on and on. Barbra Streisand and Michael Jackson.
Wow.
A lot of heavyweights, and the owner of DW Drums, which is probably the premier drum company in the world, lives right here, John Good.
Well,
So he comes in all the time.
you said,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
John's in here all the time, and we do Monday night football at his house. We have the church at Monday night football, and we all go over there.
That's great, man. So did you rely when you started, when you first opened, I guess, what was it, like 7.5 months ago? Did you rely on brand name of like Parma and quality and tests that you've done, or did you rely on maybe the fame of you playing rock and roll? What do you think brought the people in at first? What did you use as a catalyst to start?
You know, I don't know. Maybe it's I never really thought that much about. I don't look at myself and say I'm famous or I'm a rock star. I'm this. I'm not that. You know? I always say I'm a rock star adjacent. I know a lot of rock stars, but I just kind of started doing the pizza. If the pizza's no good, it doesn't matter who you play with.
Exactly.
Bad is bad. So, and you know, like I said, I'm a big student of Tony Giammanani. I always call him the Mick Jagger of pizza. Because when he walks in the room, the C's part, if you're one of Tony's guys, you're automatically respected throughout that whole pizza expo and stuff.
Yeah.
When you say Tony sent me over for something, okay, whatever you want, it's done. And so I never thought of myself in that position. So I think I relied more on making a quality product and making that really strong, because if it's no good, the place is not going to last. Doesn't matter who you play with. Unless you have endless amount of money. Like I've not had Gene Simmons pizza. I don't know what the product is like, but you know, he could support that if he wanted to. So the day he does.
True.
I'm not in that position. So it better be good.
So what was the thinking behind doing the numerous styles of pizza? I know you said you didn't realize Giammanani was doing it, but I mean, so you went in there just thinking that I want to do numerous styles of pizza. What was the thinking behind it?
I got tired of the argument about who makes the best pizza. Because in my mind, Ohio made the best pizza. That's what I grew up on. You know? It was in my family. It was in my home state. So that was the best pie. And then somebody else from New York said, oh, no, that's the best pie. And then all of a sudden, you meet the Hunt brothers. And Detroit, I didn't even know they had Detroit pie. You know. So then little by little, you start meeting all these different guys, Samoski, Smokovich, and,
Yeah.
you know, all their different styles. And so I just figured all these people that are transplants in California are going to want to go to a place that they can get what they grew up on. That's going to bring them in. So that's how it was born.
That's actually a very good thought. Just put one-stop shop for pizza right there.
Exactly. Yeah, we're trying to do it all. Tony just happened to be the guy that I found online. He said, man, he stole my idea.
So do you have several different type of dough recipes, since you do several different types of styles?
Yeah, every dough is different.
Every pizza style dough is different.
Every pizza style is different dough, different sauce.
Wow.
There's no crossbreeding. It's all different. It's got to be accurate. You know, that's my thing. It's got to be accurate. So if you order an Ohio pie and you're from Ohio, you're going to know what it is. And you're not going to walk out here, hopefully, saying, oh, that was bullshit. Shit, I want it to be the real deal.
Right.
So it's worth the extra effort.
And then this is something you guys, since you're one location still, right? Plus the mobile? Yeah. Okay, so you guys do everything in-house then? Everything's
done here, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And we're small, too. We're 1,200 square feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I want to walk you around before.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I'm just going to walk you out there so you kind of see. I don't have all the guitars up yet, but you'll kind of see what we're gaming at.
Awesome.
And I hope these people don't mind me. I'll be in videotape. You have to sign a release. But if you look over there, you can see.
Oh, yeah. Hi, folks.
PMQ Pizza Magazine. So you can see the start of the guitars and stuff. And we'll be adding more.
Oh, wow, yeah, very small. And then, was that your oven right there?
There's, a shot of the kitchen so you can kind of get an idea.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, I did bite off more than I can chew because I've got all these ovens and that's all right. And we're in a small space, as you can tell. Now everybody's whipping around here, and I'm in their way.
Well, I mean, no, that's good. I mean, it's you're getting everything going out there, and this is just that beginning to where you're gonna, I can't wait till you guys reach out to Mississippi. I'll run that sucker for you, man.
Now, I know you're not from Mississippi. Where are you from?
I'm from mainly Indiana. My family's in the military, so we lived in Texas, England. My mom and dad were both born in Chicago, so I still have a lot of family up there. The more relaxed I get, the more Chicago comes out. Yeah, so I moved down here just to be with the magazine. They had a pizza cruise. Met the folks here. A couple years later, the spot for U.S. Pizza Team Coordinator came open, and I'm like, that's where I'm going. And it's allowing me to meet people like you and all these great people across the country. So
pizza people are really nice.
They're the best in the world, man.
One of the attractions for me is I've met very few people that are really, wacky. Most of them are really straight ahead, do anything to help you, and I like that camaraderie.
And that's exactly describes the U.S. Pizza Team. That's who we have on there. I mean, literally the guys that'll give you the jacket off their back. We want to make sure that you go up there and do your best, especially when they compete against each other. Those help you out because my guys, the U.S. Pizza Team, they want to be able to beat you when you're at your best.
Yeah.
They don't want an asterisk when they kick your ass. They want to know that you did your best, and that's when they beat you. So
it's friendly competition, man. It's not like this mean-spirited thing. It's really good vibe.
It's like, what difficulties do you have in training your staff on numerous styles of pizza? I mean, there's different techniques for doing your Detroit, your New York, Neapolitan.
It's hard on everybody because you have to be, you have to be able to cross different lines now because somebody will come in and they'll have a lot of experience at maybe New York or whatever, what have you. None of them had experience with Ohio because, I mean, that's almost my own little thing that I decided to do out here. I don't know anybody else doing that. But I loved it so much, I wanted to do it. What the hell? So, I mean, you just take a little bit of time. They're all such excellent people and such, they have a lot of prowess. So there's, you just learn how to adapt to it. And, of course, we're always wanting to get better. And Neapolitan is really the bear. That's the hard one. The other ones are a little bit, they are easier. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's easier to do those styles. Neapolitan is really tough to get a beautiful pie. And I'm all in favor of having the Neapolitans look really good. I know a lot of guys just go free form on them, and they say that's part of the charm. But for me, artisan, right. I like the way Tony makes a pie. I had a ridiculously good pie in New York City, Brunetti, in New York City. By far the best Neapolitan pie I've had in New York City. But those guys, they're all really great pizza people. So.
Yeah, and it's easy to make them when they're, like you said, those skilled pizzioli. It's easy to make them round. It's very easy. They usually get it right. When you train somebody, do you train them on all styles, or do maybe they do the smaller, not smaller styles, but the easier styles, and then work up to Neapolitan? Or
they work up to Neapolitan. It's easier to start somebody with a New York kind of thing. Which is enough to push it out and just, to get it to size and everything. But it's a little bit more forgiving. Yeah. You're going to get a hole in it. It's a little bit more effort to get a hole in it, where Neapolitan can easily happen.
Yeah. So they kind of work at one style at a time and just work their way up. Say you learn New York and then you learn Ohio and Detroit.
We start them off there and, branch them out into the other things. The Ohio is, again, a little bit more forgiving because it's in a tray. So it's really, you don't have to worry about round or anything like that. It's a square tray. So, you learn the proper proportions of ingredients and toppings and so forth. So you learn that basic thought process, which is our whole thing, is balance. And just then they graduate up to the Neapolitan. Eventually they're able to do it by themselves. We don't have to watchdog them, but we all want to be on the same page. So,
well,
same pie.
Yeah, and like you said, it goes back to consistency, and that's where I think that's a beast to tackle in a situation like yours with so many different styles. So congratulations on that, man.
Look at Tony. He does it. And whether Guillermo makes it, whether Thiago makes it, whether Tony, it doesn't matter. They're all equally talented at it, and, I take a lot from that.
So in the last 7 months, what's the reception been there? Are you guys doing well right now?
Really good. We're number one.
Very good. Very good.
We became number one in about month 2. We were open.
Really?
It's really a great thing.
And you were mentioning the mobile business now.
Yeah.
What do you got going there? You got a mobile wood-fired oven, or what do you got?
Yeah, we got a mobile wood-fired oven. It was really a fortuitous situation. A guy that I used to stop in and see that had a Neapolitan place over in Moore Park, I used to go in this place long before I was open. And he happened to come in here, and he told me that he had sold to his partner, and he wasn't in it. And he says, hey, if you ever need any help. Well, he's now a full partner in the business because he's extremely talented. And he brought the mobile business in here.
Okay.
So, you know, I think that's a good way for us to expand. We're looking at a second unit already, and then a second location. So next year, I suspect early next year we'll have a second mobile one, and then probably late next year, hopefully we'll have another second location, brick and mortar.
So are you doing like catering events, or are you doing pop-ups with your mobile right now, or mixture of both?
But you know, if somebody wants something for a party and they just want to, you know, get 30 pizzas or whatever, then, you know, we'll take it to them or they'll come pick it up. And we're flexible because we just had to work on, you know, when we opened, of course, we didn't have delivery at all. Now we're with, you know, affiliated with the Grubhub and so forth. We're test driving that before we started hiring delivery people. So, you know, we're just branching out little by little.
Okay, so you are just you're just dine-in and carry-out currently?
Right now. Well, no, we did the delivery thing through the third party.
Oh, okay. That's yeah. You kind of cut out there. So third party. Okay.
Yeah.
That's something you're looking to get off a third party and hire your own drivers. Is that what you were saying?
We're looking at it. We're looking at the cost efficiency, the effects on the business, having 2 more people on the payroll because, you know, initially when you start off, you asked one of your first questions is, what are the hard parts about getting a business going? Jesus. I really didn't know where to begin with that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you read my answer, it's talking about the location, the build out, and all the sub stuff of that. How you doing there? All the sub stuff that goes with that, because you know you get in this business, and all of a sudden, like we had a situation come up with negative air, and so I didn't know about negative air. All of a sudden, you know, if we turn the fan on, it's dragging the soot out of our wood-fired oven.
Yeah.
Spewing it all over the kitchen, you know, so everyone's in here with the fan off and dying. You know, it's like 140 degrees.
Right.
But it's a learning process, so you don't know what's going to come up.
Well, I mean, that's what you cut your teeth on, but I mean, it sounds like you overcame most of those hurdles, man.
We've been very fortunate.
I'm going to geek out for a second. Now, I had a buddy in high school, and his dad's claim to fame was they had a high school band. And he kept telling this story all the time. And they went and they did this battle of the bands, and they came in second behind some band, and they were all pissed. But then this other band came in third. Years later, they find out, well, at the time, the band that came in third was REO Speedwagon.
Hey, you never know, you know what I mean? It's like one day I was sleeping on my couch because I was going through this really heavy music school. And, you know, so I was kind of like vamping on the couch, and I get a call from some guy, and I got an original band, and I'm thinking, oh my God, another original band in LA. I got 3 more weeks before I graduate this 4-year program condensed into one. So I kind of turned it down, and here it was Bruce Hornsby in the Range.
Oh, well, yep.
That was right before his big hit record, and those guys all had points on the record. I mean, it's one of those things where I think about it now, and I go, what an asshole. You know, but who knew?
No, you don't. You can't. They would always send me to karaoke contests for our company for like charity and stuff. I got beat out by a girl singing "Hit Me With Your Best Shot." Of course, it was a pretty role, and then of course I chose for some reason it was a live band, the first live karaoke band, and I chose to sing "Jeremy" by Pearl Jam because I could do it, and they loved it because then nobody else actually nailed all the parts.
Right.
But I didn't take into account it's not good karaoke, and that song was. Plus, she was hotter than I was.
Yeah.
That was my other.
When it comes to the female aspect of it, you and I don't have a chance.
Never gonna win.
You look at a young lady like this and forget it.
Yeah, the band appreciated it. They shook my hand. So, my favorite song, I want to say "Treat Me Right," but it's got to be "Invincible," and it's just because when I grew up in England, it was on a mixtape that my dad got in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Some of these bootleg things. So tell Pat I'm sorry we didn't pay for it, but.
Oh, it's okay. We're used to it, man.
I loved it. I wanted to know what's like your favorite song to play with a band. It doesn't have to even be the best song out there.
I like All Fired Up. I just think it's a great rock song. It's got a great vibe to it. But I must say Invincible has a special meaning because when 9/11 happened, we were probably the only band in the country to play.
Oh.
Livermore, California, at Wentz's Vineyards. And everyone else canceled. But so many people called and asked the promoter to please ask Pat to play. And when we played Invincible, she spoke about the 9/11 event. That was the very night of it.
Wow.
And see 3,000 people all crying and hugging at the same time was a pretty emotional event. So that song is pretty strong in my mind.
See if I can look that up, because, I mean, you about got me crying there on that. Like I said, that song is just very nostalgic for me in general.
Yeah.
Is there, between you and me, is there one song where you would be like, I don't want to play this song? Is there one song you absolutely hate?
My clone sleeps alone. I really don't. I don't have fun.
There's always one. I was in the band for 12 years too, and it started. It's like, I gotta play this song again. I look at these guys. I'm like, this song. You know that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be like that on a lot of these songs because, I mean, somebody asked me the other day, how many times do you think you played Hit Me With Your Best Shot? And I'm thinking, well, it's like 24 years. I don't know, 5,000 to 6,000 times. I could get in a hate mode, but why? It's a hit record.
Exactly. We all, as musicians, have those songs that we absolutely abhor. We don't want to play, but we do it with a smile on our face because we're artists.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's a reason it's a hit record, whether we like it or not.
Right.
Somebody out there is buying the hell out of it.
It's like, I mean, how do you guys market currently? Do you do newspaper, radio, or Facebook? Do you rely more on social media?
We do social media, a bit more social media, and I'm a big believer in giving the pies away.
So,
people taste it, because that's the real test. You could send out mailers and you can have a coupon and this and that. I know what I do with coupons. It takes me trying it. If the pizza's good, I'll come back. I'll eat the hell out of it, or any kind of food. But so that's our biggest thing is giving it away.
So where do you take it places to give it away? Different local, like publicly?
We try to get them to come in the door, so we'll offer some sort of teaser like, $2 slices or whatever. Or like, if they come in to buy whatever their favorite pie is and I've got something new, then they get to try it.
Get to try it, yeah.
Bring it out and dish it out in the dining room. You keep doing that 100 times, and then people get on with it, and they start to come in and order.
So what do you think the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome actually starting a pizza place? What was one thing that just surprised the hell out of you? It was so hard you didn't expect? Something to warn other new guys coming into the business.
Well, taking care of the grind, like liquor license, that stuff takes time. All your permits, your inspections, shitty contractors, maybe you'll get a bad contractor for a certain thing. Not just, your general contractor has to be really good, but even they make mistakes. And of course, he runs the numbers past us. I don't always go with the lowest bid, but I don't always take the highest bid either. Maybe sometimes I should have. We had a debacle here with our floor and got into a situation that was, pretty unpleasant. And, we managed to get out of it because we were in the right. But still, man, it totally screws you up, and you're thinking about loss of income, and you got to pay for this twice. Is the guy going to sue you? Stuff like that, and it's really unforeseen. Or the negative air, and then this and that. I mean, those are things you don't know going into. You don't know about that. I didn't know.
Those some kind of minor details would seem to be from a pizza guy's perspective that kind of trip you up as far as getting started, like negative air and.
Negative air, yeah, that's a big one. Just what you need on hand. You don't really know what you need on hand until you start making the pies. And you realize, oh, God, I'm cutting the salami into little tiny strips. How long is it taking me or somebody else, one of your workers? How much time is that taking on the clock? So, you have to buy the right equipment. You don't really know until you get into it. You don't know what your needs are. At least you don't if you're inexperienced, like I was totally green. I'd never done anything like this.
Okay.
So the learning curve was really deep for me.
What do you think your biggest success was when you did this? Something that was just a breeze, or that you think you did really well, that you can let people know that this is how I did it, and it might work for you?
Well, overall, I would say the multiple style decision was probably the best decision I ever made. I think without that, if we were a one-trick pony, yeah, we would have a good New York pie or whatever. I certainly wouldn't do strictly Ohio here because people don't know of it that much. They know New York slices. But there's quite a few of those, And in fact, in this community, there's not really that many true wood-fired pizzerias. They're like pit fire and biology and things like that, more the Chipotle approach, not the traditional Neapolitan 900 degrees. You got to wait for the pie. We don't claim to be the fastest, but we're not trying to be. We're trying to make a fucking good pie. That's the issue. The rest of it is all semantics. It really doesn't mean anything. If you want speed, you might not want to wait here 10, 15 minutes to get your pie, but that's the trade-off. Is I want quality. I don't want that stuff, because otherwise we'll just become wallpaper like the rest of it.
I mean, that sounds good, man. I definitely appreciate all the info here. I mean, you're right on track there. I wish you guys the best of luck. All right, Mick, I'm going to let you go, man. I hear you guys are getting busy, so I really appreciate the time today. As long as I get like a good headshot of you, something you want us to use. Yeah.
Give me a couple days to let the bags recede.
I know.
I look like fucking Al Pacino's understudy.
That's cool, too, so.
All right, bud.
All right, Mick, I'm going to let you go, brother. Thank you so much for this. I had a great time. Say hi to your son again, and to all your staff for letting you do this in the kitchen while they're working.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, welcome to the kitchen.
All right, thanks so much, buddy.
No stranger to a kitchen, so you get it.
Right.
Thanks, man. I'll see you soon.
Bye.